officer. My name is Jackson Hewitt Tyler, and this is my wife, Ellie. You left a message with our housekeeper that we're needed down here. Some type of emergency, I believe.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Tyler. I'm glad you could make it down right away. Seems we had a little incident, and the perpetrators insisted that we call you.
I don't understand. Do you have their names?
As a matter of fact, I do. Rachel and Bubba Plunkett.
Oh no,
I take it you recognize these names?
they're my brothers. What in the world they doing down here?
More to the point, what damage have they done?
Now Jackson, let's not jump to any conclusions. Sure, it's just some big misunderstanding.
Well, I'll let them explain it. You can make yourselves comfortable. I'll go bring them in.
Wonder what they managed to do this time.
Now just stay calm. Probably nothing at all. Just give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, right. I remember the havoc they caused at the wedding.
I told you it was a bad idea to give them the keys to the limo.
Well, I didn't expect them to destroy it.
They didn't mean any harm. They just happen to love fireworks. They're just a little exuberant.
Exuberant? Try lunatics.
Well, lunatics or not, they're still my family.
Don't remind me.
Hey, sis.
Bubba, what in the world are y'all doing down here?
Well, we didn't show up to Meemaw for Thanksgiving yesterday. Everybody thought something terrible had happened. Nobody passes up Meemaw's roast turkey with rhubarb stuff unless something awful happens.
Well, now, Bubba, I told Mama I just couldn't make it this year. After all, Jackson and I just got married, and it's our first year together. We have to alter our traditions a little bit to accommodate both families. This year, we decided to entertain Jackson's family. And since they couldn't get together until today, I spent yesterday getting the house ready.
Yeah, we know. That's why we're here. Mom thought y'all could use some help, this being your first time and all.
Help?
Oh, Virgil, we don't need any help. We're gonna have it catered.
Catered? Now, Ellie, you know you've got to serve more than cake.
It's a good thing that Mom saved all them leftovers from Meemaw's house. That'll feed your new family good and proper. Never let it be known anybody walked away hungry from a Plunkett sit-down.
The only thing we forgot was the paper goods. That's why we stopped at this here store. We didn't think there'd be this many people, though. Thought we'd never find a parking place. Had to go around back and park at one of their loading docks.
You did what?
Oh, we ain't in nobody's way. Besides, there's no other place to go. Never seen such a passel of people.
It's because it's Black Friday.
Oh my, we're mighty sorry to hear that. Who passed?
What?
No one passed, Bubba. Black Friday is a shopping day they give after Thanksgiving. It's the start of the Christmas season.
But black's the color of mourning.
And Christmas is the most joyous time of the year. Why would a body do such a thing?
It has to do with economics.
Echo what?
Money, Bubba.
Huh. But ain't money green?
Never mind, Bubba. Just get on with the story.
Well, like I said, we thought a place this big was bound to have some paper goods.
Some proper paper goods, that is. Ma didn't want us to embarrass you in front of your new family. She wanted us to find some of that fancy Chinette stuff.
None of that there flimsy, cheap stuff this time. After all, we don't want a repeat of that little 4th of July incident that happened while y'all were on your honeymoon.
That's for sure.
Why? What happened?
Well, you see, Uncle Bruce tried to snuff out one of his cigarettes on one of them there flimsy paper plates, and dang it if it didn't catch on fire. But Bubba here, well, he saved the day. He grabbed the whole of that paper plate and set it flying through the air, just like a frisbee. Only thing is, set it flying right into the bed of his truck where he'd stash fireworks.
But that was a sight. The whole county's still talking about it.
Won the prize for the best fireworks that year, too.
And it only took the volunteers from the fire department, 2 tankers and a helicopter to get it under control. Those are some good dudes, I tell you.
Was anybody hurt?
Well, Uncle Bruce got his whiskers singed a mate, and Pappy can't hear as good anymore.
Well, Meemaw still has a fine set of lungs, so they get along all right.
What about the truck?
Well, now, that's a different story.
Yeah, but we can piece it together again.
Enough. Just tell us what happened down here today.
Well, I'm afraid Bubba here caused a little ruckus down at the frozen pond.
Frozen pond?
It means the skating when done at the sports center.
What did he do? Slip on some ice? That's not so bad. Hardly constitutes an emergency.
Well, it's not quite that simple. You see, the owners had the rink decorated like the North Pole for Christmas. They had all sorts of Christmas trees, snowmen, candy canes, and to top it off, a life-size ice sculpture of Santa and his reindeer.
It sure was purty, too.
Was?
It's all gone now.
Gone! What did you do?
Wait a minute, Ellen. I was just trying to catch Bubba's boot.
His boot?
Yes, sir. Came flying right through the air. Could have cold cocked somebody if I hadn't been there.
Okay, let's back up and start at the beginning. Bubba, just how did your boot happen to become airborne?
I'm sorry, Jackson. I just had to try it.
Try what?
Them there moving stair steps. Did you ever see such a thing? Why, if you can get on it, it'll do the walking for you.
You mean the mall escalators?
Escalate? I don't really know what you're talking about. I'm talking about them there moving stair steps down the way a piece.
They're actually called an escalator, but never mind that. Just tell us what happened.
Well, sir, while mowing the paw the gals went off hunting for their fancy Chinette plates, I decided to give those steps a whirl.
I told him to stay away from those things. Body needs to do its own walking.
It looked harmless. I was going to ride them right down and back up again. It weren't going to take me more than a couple of minutes.
So how did it go?
Well, it weren't as easy as it looked. I was real careful I could only put one foot on to start off. But by the time that there step actually formed, my other foot was still 3 or 4 steps behind. I kind of got drugged onto it. And there it was, about split in two, hanging on for dear life. And then here comes the end, and I thought to myself, how in the world am I going to get off with me in that there position?
So what did you do?
Well, ever since that incident with the fire department last summer, they told me that for my own protection, I needed to learn a little technique called stop, drop, and roll. So I did just like that.
And how did that work?
It got me off them at least.
Yeah, but I bet that old lady and her dog didn't mind that maneuver of yours very much.
Oh, she weren't hurt real bad, and if she had been, she wouldn't have been able to whip on me with her pocketbook like she did.
Then what happened?
Well, after some good Samaritan finally pulled that crazy old biddy off of me, and I finally plucked that chihuahua of hers off of my boot, I started studying how to get back up those stairs without any more mishaps.
And?
Well, I figured I had to get both feet on the same steps somehow, so I just took a run and go and jumped on those critters.
Did it work?
Like a charm. I was right proud of myself.
Well, then what went wrong?
You see, in all that mess with that chihuahua, I didn't realize my bootlace had come undone. So when I got to that top step, that bootlace got caught in them treads, and I come right out of that boot.
Oh dear. Here it comes.
Yep, there it was, sprawled out on the floor. When I got turned around, there was my boot, just dancing a jig on that there top step. I tried crawling back, but before I could, it busted loose and came a-whizzing right at me.
And you weren't able to catch it?
No, I just ducked. It's a natural reflex. Powerful big boot. Steel toe and all. But old Virgil here, he went for it like a bullet. He was a football star back home.
And I almost got it too, Ellie. Only thing is, when it went flying through the air and I went up to grab that critter, I got my foot stuck on that there bench, did a somersault over. Next thing I knew, I was on the ice, headed right for old Sam.
You should have seen it, Ellie. Took out them reindeer and nothing flat. Looked like a bowling ball knocking down them there pins. And to beat it all, he got himself wedged under that there sleigh.
Yeah, could help me out with that bit there, Bubba.
I tried, only I kept coming out of my sock, kept sticking to the ice. Just about got frostbite.
What do you think my backside felt like, frozen to the bottom of the sled like that?
Unfortunately, it took a sledgehammer to blowtorch to get him loose.
Oh my.
I mean, mighty embarrassing. I mean, just look at me. Not to mention it chases something fierce.
You go, Virgil. Just how much is this going to cost?
Now, put your money away. Ma would skin us alive if she thought we'd take your charity.
Speaking of Ma, where is she?
Oh, I'm sure her and Pa are out there somewhere.
Going at it tooth and nail, probably. Now, Paul hates to leave the mountains. Haven't had a moment's peace since we've been down here.
Oh, boys! Oh, dear heavens! Oh, my life! Oh, my God! Oh, look what you got done now, Floyd Clarkins!
Now, Aggie, if you just let me try to explain.
Oh, there's nothing to explain, Floyd. You tried to kill me, plain and simple. Oh, Ellie, it was just terrible. Your pa just tried to do away with me. Are you in charge here?
Yes, ma'am. I help. Head of mall security.
Well, go ahead and arrest Floyd here, because I'm willing to pass the charges.
Excuse me, lady, but weren't you the one hitting him over the head with your paper cups?
He deserved it. He tried to kill me. Arrest him, officer.
Now, calm down, Mama, and just tell us what happened.
Well, I was a walking around, minding my own business,
stove. And this thing didn't have no doorknobs, no windows, nothing. And I about died.
Now, if you just let me try to explain, Aggie.
There's nothing to explain, Floyd. You tried to suffocate me, plain and simple.
Can we just start at the beginning? Sir, can you explain what happened?
Well, while we was hunting for the paper goods store, I kind of got lost. This is a powerful big story, you know. So I found myself a place to set a spell and catch my bearings. I figured it'd just be a matter of time before I heard Aggie bellowing out and I just followed the racket till I came across somebody.
So, what happened?
Well, sir, while I was sitting on that there bench, along came this little gal with one of these papers about a makeover in her hand.
Oh, what?
A makeover, Bubba. I saw it on the Opie one time. They take somebody out of the crowd, take them backstage, get them all guzzied up. Why, you wouldn't even recognize them to be the same person.
That's exactly what that little gal said.
Just what are you saying, Floyd?
Sounds like Pa thinks you could use an overhaul, Ma.
Stay out of this, Bubba! Y'all gonna be the one who keeps the work done.
Can we just get back to the story, please?
Well, I didn't put much stock into it, but I was polite and took the flyer anyways.
So what happened then?
Well, while I was sitting there, along came this lady with a flyer in her hand. She stepped in this little room and closed the door behind her. After a little bit, there was a ding, you know, sort of like a oven timer that tells you when something's done. Well, the door of that little room came out open, and out stepped the prettiest thing I ever saw. I couldn't believe my eyes.
I don't understand. You're talking about the elevator?
The elevator? Floyd, that is not a makeover room.
Not anymore, it ain't. Aggie broke it.
Guess Ma was just too much for it.
Bet that'll set Paul back a pretty penny.
If you'll just let me try to explain.
Help! Girl! Help me! Get off of me! Now, just what are you trying to say? We was running for our lives back there.
I'm just doing my job. You don't have a receipt for that skirt.
Well, everything just happened so fast. We just headed out there while we were still in one piece.
Hey, Aunt Aggie, tell this person that we ain't no thieves.
Well, of course they ain't. These are my nieces, Maybelle and Gertrude Smith. They come along with us to help with Ellie's little get-together. They don't get out the mountains much, you know. The Pa needs them to help out on the pig farm.
But now the butchering season's over. Paul said we could come if we behave ourselves. And then I thought we didn't do anything. Honest.
Those people just went hog wild.
Okay, just tell us what happened.
Well, me and Gert was just looking around a bit.
Yeah, we thought we might be able to find something real pretty for our mom for Christmas.
Well, looks like you've got a mighty white skirt there, Maybelle.
It used to be a dress.
Yeah, until that crazy old Betty with the dog at the top right off.
Wait a minute. Was it a little Chihuahua dog?
Yeah, it was right.
Just like I figured. You need to get that one under control. She seems to be causing a ruckus everywhere she goes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Let's just get back to the story. Maybelle.
Well, like I was saying, me and Gert was just looking at this here dress for Ma, when all of a sudden, this blue light started flashing over our heads, and then people commenced to swarming at us from everywhere.
Blue light?
The store is running a blue light special. Once an hour, they flash a blue light, and whatever's in that section goes for half price for 15 minutes. The girls appear to have been caught in a melee.
It was horrifying, Ellie. They was pushing and shoving, punching and gouging. Before I knew it, Gert was being trampled before my eyes, so I just grabbed a hold of her and hauled her right out of there.
Without paying for the item in question.
Like we said before, we was running for our lives.
Now, Ellie, we're pretty stout girls, and we can handle a whole herd of rowdy hogs, but them people were something else.
I've never seen it like it. They just went plumb loco. One minute, I was just admiring this here dress, and the next, it was being ripped from my hands while I was being used as a chew toy by that little dog.
Oh, you poor girls. Just what are you going to do about this? These girls got that hurt real bad. A body ain't safe down here.
I vote we pack up everything and go home.
We can't go home yet, Floyd. Ellie needed us to help with her little get-together. We can't let her down.
Besides, we can't go back yet. I ain't found my boot. I gotta go back down them stairs and start looking for it.
That won't be necessary. appears that this young man was actually able to knock the street down before he sailed onto the ice. Unfortunately, it crashed into a display case at the jewelry store below. They thought they were in the midst of a smash and grab. The owner had a panic attack and had to be sedated.
Let's just get this over with. How much money are we talking?
I'm sure insurance will pay for most of the damages, but the owners were pretty upset about losing Santa and his reindeer. After all, he is the focal point of Christmas.
What? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Santa is not the focal point of Christmas. At least he ain't supposed to be. Christmas is a celebration of the greatest gift given to mankind, God's only begotten Son.
Amen.
No wonder the folks around here are going crazy. They got their priorities all messed up.
Y'all should have a nativity scene on display, not Santa Claus.
She's right.
Now that you mention it, I ain't seen a nary thing about Jesus in this whole place.
Heck, I ain't heard nobody wish as much as a Merry Christmas to anybody.
And you're not likely to either. It's not considered politically correct.
What?
What?
What's politics got to do with anything?
That just ain't right.
I can't argue with that. But down here, they take it to using the word holiday instead of Christmas. They don't want to offend anyone.
But ain't the holiday Christmas?
For the Christians, yes.
Well then, what about offending the Christians? Do we count?
Yes, Mama. Everyone else does too.
Still, there ain't nothing to stop us from going out there and wishing Christian folks a God's blessing and a Merry Christmas. Now is there? Come on, everybody, let's go out there and turn this place around.
No, wait a minute. I think under the circumstances, it would be best if we all just call it a day.
Yes, Mama. We still have to get ready for dinner time.
Well,
Let's go, Aggie. I've had enough of this here place for one day.
I suppose we could swing on back here on the way home. Give us time to make a plan.
We'll talk about that later. Right now, let's get out of here before they change their minds.
I'll escort you out. Do you remember which living dock you came by in?
I ain't for sure, but there was a lot of them there naked store dummies in the doorway. Why, Mom had to lead us through there with our eyes closed.
I liked it too.
The very idea of leaving them things out in plain sight. You're trying to corrupt these fine youngins.
Well, you weren't supposed to come in that way, remember? But never mind that. Come along, I know which one you're talking about.
We'll wait for you out front, Mom. That way you can follow us home.
Do we have to?
Jackson, carry a pink plate for Mom.
Yes, dear.
Aren't you going to try that?
It'll be alright. Virgil, I think I know why they call it Black Friday.
Why is that?
They're trying to kill Christmas.
You might be onto something. Come on, let's catch up with the others. I told you you should have tied your boot.
Hey, where'd everybody go?